Hello guys, this is Motion Design School, and today we will continue learning effects. On this lesson, we will learn how to create this kind of liquid animation and of course some trendy glitches. Working on that, we will be experimenting with some new effects that you will probably use in your future projects. This lesson is going to be mostly practical, and we will start from considering how to create this blob effect. Everything is pretty simple. You can achieve this result using combination of two effects. We will overview two combinations, so you will decide by yourself which one to use. Let's have a look at first one. I have drawn these two circles just for demonstration. Create a new adjustment and apply fast blur effect to it. Increase its value to 20. And now I will add simple choker effect and set the same value as fast blur. Now it's cool blobs. Usually everything works fine when these two parameters have the same value, but still you can experiment with them. It's very important that after applying these effects the object size differs from original, so you will have to correct it or create everything in a larger scale in the beginning. This combination is comfortable because you have to edit only two parameters, blurriness of fast blur and the only parameter of simple choker. Everything works fine, even when the objects have different colors. The second combination is more flexible, so here we have again our fast blur, but in comparison with already known levels. And switch here to alpha channel. When you blur the object, alpha channel has this kind of range. And using levels, we can move along this range, so that we have more control over the size of object. We also can combine this with already known trick with motion blur, and even with simple choker. I hope that you got this simple principle, so now let's practice. You have to repeat one of the following shots. But if it seems hard to you, I will explain everything further on example of this animation. First of all, let's create a blob effect. Draw a big circle with size of 100 by 100 in the center of composition. Then duplicate it and create a smaller one, approximately 60% scale. Add the adjustment layer. Apply fast blur and change its value approximately to 35. Now also add levels effect and set it up this way. Now we can see the two circles are intersecting like blobs. Place the anchor point of smaller circle to the center of composition and distribute its duplicates in a circle by rotating them by 60 degrees. Now select all duplicates and press Alt-Ctrl-Home to place the anchor points in the center of each circle. Set the keys on position property approximately on the 10th frame, and on the first frame place them to the center by pressing Ctrl-Home. Easy ease the keyframes, edit speed graph, convert the last keyframes to linear. Now let's shift these layers by 2 frames relatively to each other. And apply the bounce expression to position property. Now animate the large circle and make it smaller in the moment of items jumping out. Also add bounce expression to its scale property. To make the circles come back into button, just copy position keyframes and paste them a little further on the timeline. Reverse these keyframes and easy ease them. Also shift these keyframes by 2 frames in reversed order. Make the central circle scale up to its initial state and add animated cross. Now place icons from icons composition on small circles and parent these icons to them. Animate their opacity property so they won't be visible while being in the center. So now let's talk about one of the most trendy things in today's motion design – glitches. The project with glitches is attached to the lesson. Open it. Open the main composition. Here, almost all glitches was done with the help of adjustment layers, so the different effects combinations was applied to adjustments, and by displaying these layers in different time, we get this various glitches effect. Now let's consider the one of the most popular and effective ways to create glitch with the help of displacement map effect. It's obvious this effect works with the displacement map, but what is that and how does it work? In its settings, we set the value of horizontal and vertical displacement, and choose the black and white layer in this drop-down as a displacement map. In our case, we have this composition as a map. So the brighter area of the displacement map, the more it will displace our layer in this area, and the darker, the less. Now let's create the glitch using this effect in new composition. I will distort this logo. You can use any image you want. So the first thing we have to do is create a displacement map. Create new solid, it must be black colored, and apply noise effect to it. Increase its value, and check Use Color Noise to make the noise black and white. Then add Mosaic effect and set it up this way. And check the sharp color, so that some kind of pixelization was created. Now let's change the number of horizontal blocks to 1. So that we made these straight waves. And edit them like this to add more contrast. Now add the posterize time and set its value to 10. And now the animation is sharp and it really looks like glitch. Duplicate solid and set up the mosaic effect in following way to create these smaller pixels. Change its blending mode to screen and reduce the opacity value. Pre-compose these two layers and this will be our displacement map. Switch off the visibility of our pre-comp, create an adjustment layer, and add a displacement map effect. In this drop-down, select our created texture and set the horizontal and vertical displacement values. And you can achieve really good results by animating vertical and horizontal displacement values with toggle hold keyframes. Let me demonstrate how it works. Pretty cool. So the next moment is chromatic aberrations. They can be often met in glitch animations. It's like effect of image splitting into color components. Aberration, which we have in main composition, creates the RGB split. The layers which respond for creating this effect are marked with red color. So as you understood, for creating this effect we need several duplicates of layer. We did 3 copies for each RGB split in main composition. I will create this effect from scratch for you. Create 3 copies of current layer and I will name them R, G, and B. Apply to the first one Shift Channel effect. We can stop the color channels of image in various ways using this effect. Switch on and off separate channels or replace them, but we have to leave only one switched on in our case. For our layer it will be red. For G it's green, and for B it's blue. Change their blending mode to screen to make them draw the original image when they stay at the same position. And the only thing left to do is create a wiggling effect. For that, in position property, type the following expression: wiggle, opening bracket, 10, 110, closing bracket. This function creates random change of property value it's applied to, and it receives 2 parameters. The first one is frequency, and the second its amplitude. So that property value will be changed 10 times per second with maximum difference of 110. Paste this expression to G and B layers per position property. So they are wiggling. Now let's create an adjustment layer and add posterized time to it. Set the value to 10. With lower frame rate, it looks really good. So let's pre-compose it. From this moment, just by duplicating, trimming this pre-compose and placing it in random moments of time, we will get these chromatic aberrations in random moments of time. Really cool. In main composition we played around with blending modes, so that's why you can see not only red, green and blue channels. And the aberrations were combined with other effects applied to adjustment layers, so that's how we get this interesting look. The next effect which we will consider is wave warp. This effect creates wavy distortions. It can be used not only for glitches, it's really popular in 2D animation. Usually wave warp is used in simulating waves, water, hair, flags and so on. In its settings we can set up the wave height, its width, direction and speed. But the most interesting parameter is wave type. Wave has a sine form by default, but if we change it to the square, for example, we will get this result which looks really technogenic. Or for example, change it to noise. Or to smooth noise, like we did in the main composition. Also with the help of this effect we made these kind of distortions. This sudden glitch is wave height property animated with toggle hold keyframe. And these lines were created with Venetian blinds effect. This effect splits the layer with lines, size and angle of which you can control. And of course the posterized time effect was added as well, to make the animation be sharper. Of course, glitches is a really big field for experimenting with effects, and that's actually the best way to understand how they work. So exciting experiments are waiting for you in your homework, because your task is to create one glitch logo animation, of any logo you like, and also create one liquid preloader. So good luck guys, and see you on the next lesson!